Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my journey of joy, grief, and authenticity. And this week I really wanted to talk about the unavoidable, the holidays. For so much of our lives, we look towards the holidays as such a exciting time. We are anticipating it, we're looking forward to it, and then you lose somebody and you have to go through the holidays without them. And it is not easy to do. One thing that really surprised me about last Christmas, it was our first Christmas after Hollis had died, and we'd never experienced a Christmas with her, but we'd also never experienced a Christmas without her. And so this was our first Christmas knowing how good it could be and knowing how sad we were. I made a stocking for Hollis, and it was so special. It's something that my mom has always done for us, and so at my parents' house, there's a stocking for everyone, and it's they're very custom and original, and I wanted to make a stocking for Hollis. And now I know that this year, there's a stocking for her. And that's really special because it means that I don't have to pretend like she didn't exist. I know that every year there will be an acknowledgement that Hollis was here. And I find that very comforting. The other thing that was really comforting that my family did is they filled her stocking, and they filled it with cards and notes and really, really sweet things, and even like a little stuffed animal. And that was really, really special to me that they acknowledged her too. It wasn't just me, it was the whole family. And I hope that it may have helped them as well, that they didn't have to ignore her either. In that, I feel so fortunate that this year already feels easier with the holidays approaching. I'm even wearing red and green, very festive. For some of you, you may even be rolling your eyes because even just the sight of the red and green colors is difficult. Last year around this time, I was reading a really good book called A Decembered Grief. I highly recommend it, and it provided me with some really good insights, some really good ideas of how to handle the holidays. And so I just thought I would point some of these out. Most of this that I'm saying comes from this book, the Grief Share program that you've heard me mention in other episodes. It is really helpful, and they have a surviving the holidays type of session that can really be helpful for you as the holidays approach. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a resource. One of the things that has really helped me is just to remember that the Christmas season is all about Jesus. It's all about Jesus Christ coming to earth as a baby and redeeming all of us. It helps me remember that he's the reason for the season. It's not about me. And the more I can remember that, the better I feel. It can be really helpful to just prepare for the season. Prepare for the things that are ahead, whether it's things that you loved doing, they might be sad now, or the things that have always been a pain, they're going to be probably a bit more of a pain. If you didn't like shopping before, you're probably not going to like it anymore when you're grieving. So give yourself the liberty to go shop online. Make life a little bit easier for yourself. One of my favorite recommendations from the book was to take naps. Sounds very simple, but so helpful. That was one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely made notes in that part of the book because it was really helpful to just have that permission from somebody else. Don't make yourself feel like you have to do all of your traditions that you've done in the past, but don't abandon them completely. It also recommends creating new traditions, which I thought was really, really sweet. And one of the things that came to mind for me was that I've kind of always wanted to have a little swan tree. And I've had several people give me Christmas ornaments that are swans because of Hollis. And so I think I might do that this year. I think I might create a little mini tree, and it'll be full of swan ornaments, and that'll be a new tradition for me that I'll always do. And maybe one day we'll have other kids, and I will tell them about why we have a swan tree and tell them about their big sister Hollis. One of the things that was really helpful for me last year is that Jamin and I we set boundaries, and we were pretty clear about the fact that we needed some time alone together. And the time alone was both really necessary and really sad. So it was what we wanted, but it was still really hard to do. And so we spent Christmas Eve and Christmas Day alone together. And we had a lot of other time that was being spent with family. And so we were definitely getting to feel the love of family. But we also got some of that time to ourselves. And those boundaries were really good and really helpful for us. Some of the other tips I thought were very helpful from this book were the idea of remaining financially and emotionally responsible. And that can sound obvious, but it was really easy last year for me to buy tons of presents and just go crazy on presents because it was my way of getting out of the situation. If you want to cry, cry. And make time to cry. I honestly, this past week, I have felt the need to cry, and I kept getting headaches, and I thought there were tension headaches, and they are, but it's because I finally realized, I really believe it's just because I've been trying not to cry, and doing that all day for a while, it just builds up, and you need to release that at some point. Life happens, and I feel the need to be productive, and I'm afraid if I start crying, I don't know when I'll stop. And that sounds really dramatic, but truly, if I cry at night, will it keep me up? Will I kind of get into a funk? And if I cry in the morning, then I've got to make it through the day. How do I make time for that and make space for that? I don't know the answer to that, guys. Some of the other really helpful ideas that I read about included giving grief a voice, and putting your thoughts out there to others. Of course, I love this because I like to communicate about my feelings, thus this vlog. But I really liked that, and the thing that came to mind for me was your Christmas card. It's a really easy way to acknowledge your loved one, and without doing it face to face, you can comment about them, you can reference them in your Christmas card. And that's what we did last year. We created a Christmas card with Maggie on there because she was our new little love button, and on the back we included a photo of Hollis, we included a photo of us with Maggie, and then also a photo of Max because he was such a big part of our lives, and we had lost him as well. I loved that it was an opportunity to thank people for how amazing they had been to us. And one of the other things that I've loved hearing about, and I haven't done, is writing a grief letter. And this looks different for different people. Your letter could go to a very specific person, or it could go to your whole family of loved ones. When my Uncle Danny passed away, my Aunt Chris wrote a grief letter. I call it a grief letter. I didn't know what it was at the time, except a letter to the family. And later on in Grief Share, I realized this is a common practice and a very helpful practice. I love that letter that Aunt Chris wrote our family, and she even gave copies to us grandkids. And that to me was really special because she acknowledged that we were all important in the picture and in the story of Uncle Danny's life and her life. And so that was really special. Aunt Chris, I don't know if you know this, but I have kept that letter, and every Christmas I bring it out with all of the Christmas. It's always packed away with our Christmas stuff. And so every Christmas I bring it out and I read it again, and I love it. And I feel so special and honored that you gave it to us and that I have it to read. And so I know for some people it might feel like it is for you, but it was for me. And so I love that. Above all, I just recommend giving yourself permission to say no when you need to at Christmas. And the thing that's difficult for me is to say no with love, because I never want to say no. And I never want to turn anybody down or not participate. And so I get anxious about it, and then it just comes out and I'm aggressive about it and defensive, and I'm like, no, I can't participate. And I'm learning to say no with love. Above all, prepare the way of the Lord. Prepare to make him the full center of attention, because I know that that will make your Christmas so much better than it could be. So I hope that that is the main focus for you this season. And my heart is with you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about it over the next few weeks. Have a great